G'day! This video here is me working on a Microsoft Surface laptop or studio laptop. This one I don't recommend doing the screen replacement. It's pretty much a woeful machine. G'day! In today's video I've got a Microsoft Studio laptop. This particular one has the model number 1964. And I've been having this face down heating up due to the crack over in this corner here that may be a bit hard to see. There we go, now it's a bit easier to see. So I will be taking the screen out and replacing it. Now I haven't done this before, and also the information on the internet is very vague. There's almost none. So I've got my replacement panel over here. I'm not fully sure how this is going to attach, but I guess we're all going to discover that along the way. Usually the best way to proceed if you're not sure of the job is to take out the existing replacement part and have a bit of a look and try to guess where cables may be running, just so you don't accidentally damage them, as that would definitely suck. Go. No, one thing I hate when they use so much tape is the dilemma of getting it apart without destroying it. There we go. So we've got the top section up here, the connection here. Looks like a couple of holes here for microphones, I'm assuming. So I'll need to be careful up the top half of it. Where's the top half? Let's flip it over and find out. Which, funny enough, the top is also the bottom by how this flips. So let me flip it over this way. So I'm going to assume there's cables running along here. So I'm probably going to start over here with some isopropyl alcohol, thin metal pry tool, and I'll see what happens as we go. To do that, I'll rotate it and focus on this corner here. Being that it's already broken, I should be able to get out a bit of glass to at least get an idea on how this is going to come out and what the adhesive level is like on this. Pretty thin, so for the sake of getting this apart, I may be quietly confident, or maybe I've spoken too soon. It's more on there. Looks like I only need to just go in a little bit. As you can see there, might even zoom yours in just so you can focus on what I'm actually looking at. Hoping to find that these cables have a little bit of room underneath them so that it doesn't just, so there's actually a little bit of play behind them to actually lift this screen out. At least that's what I'm hoping for. As I mentioned, the isopropyl softens the adhesive just enough to pry under, and I can slide it. Or so I would like to believe. I'm just going to lift it up a little bit and pry a pry tool into there. So I've got pressure on the screen, which in turn should help lift the remainder of it out as I proceed around. It's this top bit that I'm most concerned about, as I'm not sure what's attached to the glass up here. This bottom section, I'm pretty confident there's really not much there. A peek in, see not much. Not much yet anyway. So far it does feel like the screen does have a little bit of give to it for those cables. Maybe not a huge amount. Guess we'll find out as we go. Put that in there. Put one on the other side. Go. Slide it up a little bit. Hoping just purely the tension from behind the glass or behind the display will help pry it up. Just no, maybe. Just having the double-sided tape. Let's get this section along here, which I believe has the webcam in it. As you can see there is moisture in there. That's having a good drink. Most of the connections look to be at this lower point, pushing up. So I have one here. Not sure where else we may have them. I don't want to get up too close to this, just if the glass breaks. I really don't want exploding glass shards into my eye. It does feel kind of durable, which is nice. Okay. So after looking around there, I'll proceed to have a look around here. I think I'm going to have to disconnect it from the bottom and do a whole bunch of fun. This here looks to be a fake sticker. Thanks to Linus Tech Tips for proving that it is. If you ever watch his video, he absolutely destroys it. Like me just slicing that then. How's it going to keep going? Come on. There we go, keep going. There was a hidden screw, which I'm going to assume is probably that one right here. But I'm on the go. And I know these devices like to put in hidden screws, so I'll just keep going. What a crappy little trim. Okay. I'll put aside for now. That's going to be fun gluing that back in later. So I was hoping I could replace the screen without having to remove it from the body. What it seems is that it will need to be removed from the body. Okay, what am I using? T5. T5. Now I just take out a screw here, here and here. Now, why do I feel like there'd be some under the feet? I'm looking at the Microsoft teardown of this. These do need to come off. The mad lad in the video, he tore them off like he had about 50 of them sitting there, brand new ones to be put back on. We do want to kind of preserve it because we don't have any extras. Try not to bend it too much, just enough to be able to get that off there. And the same with over here. More feet. More of these T5s. Do you find I gotta like push and twist on these ones? I'm not sure. I think it's just my particular driver's not that great. Where are we? Those will remove. Let's just pop off with it. Yep, it'll happily lift off with something attached. With a battery attached. Pull. There you go. The battery here just had a pull tab to pull, which I did. Seems to be one, feels like one small battery. Doesn't mention, I haven't seen the milliamp hours on there. That side for now. And here's the connections I can see that run up through the screen. I'm curious if I disconnect them from here. Oh god, how do these come apart? Oh yeah. Flip over and pull back. Flip over, pull back. Flip over, pull back, flip over, pull back. Then I'm going to disconnect the whole screen assembly. These screws here and here. And I'll see what it does from there. Oh, nope, not that one. No. I feel like it might be T2. What are we going to be? T4, not good enough. Here we go. T6. That undoes just fine. feel like these brackets here might need to come out too. Which of course are a slightly different size. There we go. Now what's going to happen here? It's still slightly pinned. Please tell me this bracket doesn't have to come off. Bingo. Cool. It's a little tension spring. Now it's under here. Sadly enough, even with that removed, it still doesn't give it. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Cool. Let's freeing us up a little bit. Now hopefully, you want to leave, like so. I feel like this little bit here should pop up. No, that feels like it's solid. That's not good. So back to the screen itself. It's kind of fused itself back. I'm hoping I can just feed this cable through if it wants to be kind. It lives under here. Flip up this latch. There's a latch. This is madness. I designed this never to be coming apart. Because if you design it to come apart, those cables would be able to stretch just slightly. Where right now there's a daughter board attached down the bottom here, which connects to all the front stuff. It's connected to the screen, which is then connected to the cables. So there's just not enough space for it to actually move. The other way is if I put isopropyl down there, and it lifts off that board, just enough that I could fold it further down. That one is disconnected. I hope this is not how I have to put these back on. Okay. Even with that, I still can't really fold it down. Pull tabs there. And the connector here. Another one over here. Those shitty pull tabs. Yeah, whoever at Microsoft designed that needs to be slapped and told how to actually repair stuff, because that method was absolutely bullshit. Complete bullshit. Here's our replacement. We do have to move this over from the old to the new. But come on now, that was not warranted. Especially when the materials they use here seem to be semi-disposable, even though they're made out of apparently premium material, like this metal bit of foil here that goes over the connector, which is no good at all. If I move this out of the way, that one I'm basically done with. I don't think I need to transfer anything else from this to that. Now what I want to know is, can this come out as one part and just slots in and locks it into position? Is that what's going on here? I want to use force, but I've got to be delicate with it. So, what an oxymoron going there. Just curious if this can lift up. Up here. No. See a Wi-Fi antenna connected to here. So that means it's not going anywhere. What a joke. What a joke. Nothing extra there. Take that off. Also, when I was trying to get that off, I did accidentally disconnect an antenna cable. No, I took it out of its snaked up position. Where's the other one? One under here is disconnected. Feels like it should just slot in, but then it's got those frickin' antenna cables on it. Just completely throw it out. Cool, that one's reattached. Now this snaking one, you can't quite see on the camera, that runs from all the way from over here to here, is now out of its position. Did that also connect to there? So we got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. After all that, I don't think I needed to disconnect this one. God damn it. I have to reattach that to there. Reroute this cable. Then I've got to attach 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 onto here. Made myself more drama. One's reattached. So down here that was attached to the screen, I'm going to take off that tape because it's just going to catch and tear itself. So they're still connected down there, yes. 1, 2, 3. Next up is the video cable here. That one's on. Last cable is running there. So now I can hopefully just push that down and kind of forget about it. All the while, I need to somehow magically reconnect these 4 cables. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll start with the furthest way. Will make the most sense. Sadly, the level of difficulty, I don't think I'm going to be able to capture this on camera. If you're going to twist it to an angle. Yeah. So I'm going to pause for a minute and I'll see how I go. So I found for the 2 at the very top, if I go straight above them, one here, one over here. If I go straight down to here and then straight down to here, push down, I'm able to click those in. The next challenge is I've got to fold it and go down the long section of the screen and get the 2 major ones, or one major one here, one minor one over here. One down here, whoop, and one down there. So I think so far I've managed to reattach it. I've managed to connect the 2 connections up at the top near the camera from the top, and then the 2 down here, one here, one here. Not quite to scale, but you get the idea. Over this side, this one and this one, which are located over here. I attached from the top, this one and this one. This was the easiest one because it had plenty of play on the cable. It wasn't too bad, but it was all different hand, like I had to go from a different angle to get those as opposed to 1, 2 and 3. But hopefully everything else is still functioning. I haven't glued it in, I haven't done anything like that yet. I just want to now make sure that this screen will function, and yeah, hope that this screen will function. So I'm going to loosely put it all back together again. A couple of screws here, connect this up. I'm going to leave these out for the minute, plug the battery in, hit the power button, see what happens. So my current plan is, let's say this works perfectly fine now and functions. What I'll be planning on doing next would be putting it all back together and then lifting up the screen slightly and putting a bead of glue all around the outer perimeter. But overall, to rate this on a scale of repairability, giving it about a 1, maybe a 2 if it's lucky. That I'm not too sure where we came from. There we go, right in the front there. Luckily there's not a huge amount of screws in here, so that at least is one positive. But the amount of room that cable had was an absolute joke. Granted, I didn't have to disconnect the ones I had to disconnect. Knowing what I know now, I would have left a couple of them still attached. But you don't know until you get there, and also you don't know unless people have done it before. And sadly, this seems to be about the only video I've came across that involves a Surface Studio screen replacement. Then again, I'm already here. It's only a few screws, I might as well put these bottom ones in as well. We should turn off that temperature. So I should just be able to feed these back in. So I suspect. And then make a start. So, there's a cable there to connect it. Same here. Feed that in. Go. Connect it up. Connect. Connected. Push one of these into there. Okay. What screws are we for this one? Just place the screwdriver now. Of course, we're not magnetized, so this will make it even harder. There we go, now we're magnetized. I don't like doing jobs multiple times, so I'm hoping that this just works. And also there's no damage to the front-facing camera and the various sensors up there. Push that in. Go. Push this one in. Now we're done. Now we got the cable tensioners installed. Okay, that. Move this out of the way. Connect up the battery. Weirdly, the battery disconnected easily. Struggling to find how it actually comes back together. One battery connected. Fold that back down that way. Flip it over. And let's see. It's promising. Touch is working. Brightness is turned down. Airplane mode is off, but I'm seeing Wi-Fi networks. Brightness is turning up. I'm just hiding the personal data. So far, I have an image. Quietly confident. Yeah. I don't know about the cameras though at the top. But for a start, for tonight, right at closing time, I'm happy to leave it at that for me. We'll put those screws back in here, just so I don't forget about them tomorrow. But I am slightly optimistic that Wi-Fi is working, so that's good. Hopefully those IR cameras are working. I won't know without the password, which I probably won't have till tomorrow. But so far, this was a terrible repair. Or at least, I don't ever want to have to do one of these ever again. More screws. This part did not need to come off, so that's underwhelming. But the couple of hidden screws did. So learn from my mistakes, learn from what was not needed. And this little bit here was not needed. Of course it's magnetic. What else would it be? Go. So right now, no luck with the front-facing camera, which is on its own little PCB under some screws. I'm not sure how it actually gets installed. I think I came across screws that were smaller than the pentalobe screw on an iPhone, which is what I'm trying to pick up here. Smaller than the head of that. I don't have anything to actually undo that, so they've made it very unrepairable. So pretty bad, so I'm going to proceed and just glue it down, have a chat to the customer from there. To be very cautious getting that out initially, as there isn't enough room to lift it, and as I discovered that lifting this out first is not the way to do it. Or at least some of the way. Overall, a very disappointing video on this one. This one's not a how-to video. This one's more of a documentation on how this comes apart, for people to know what to follow, know what not to follow, and also what you could potentially expect replacing the display on this. As I said, it's pretty darn terrible to work on. Don't recommend it. Terrible device for a terrible price. Yeah, I've got nothing further to add. I'll glue it down, put the screws in, and we'll go from there. And that's pretty much this video. Hang around if you want to see where I've put everything, but right now I'm just going to glue it. Just partially gluing to the factory adhesive that was still there, just the remnants of it. Put this under here, just pull it back just slightly. That amount should be okay. I'm just using some pretty standard B7000 frame adhesive. It's what gets used on the vast majority of devices and phones and back glass. It does a perfectly fine job. I don't see why this would be any different. I'll do this side over here now. Be careful not to use too much over here. It does look like the hinge mechanisms on this side. So if I stretch it up over that other way. There's very little adhesive down the bottom section along here. Going up over here. Plenty of body to glue it under here. Yeah, I think there's a special place in hell for terrible designs like this. Okay. That should be right now, just to push over the top and push down. From here, fold it up, fold it over. Get it itself. No, where did I put that cover? There we go. No, that's all covered up, that's fine. The trim there and there's fine. Spin this back around. fold it over, flip it over from there, and I've got some screws to put back in, and that trim to go back over the top. So now I'm just using a T5 to put these in. I think they're all the same. I don't think there's any difference in colouring or anything like that. They look to be of the same length. Actually, as I said, they look a little bit smaller. Where'd the other one go? I think that's what I'm using here. Alright, there's a baby one. There's a magnet right there, which makes it rather difficult. Going in. There's 4 across the front. There, all screws in. Just have a couple of these covers. I may put a little bit more glue on these. Try that here. Just line it up, push it into that gap. Like so. Should be able to do very similar. Cool, that's mostly alright. And the next hardest one is going to be this one, which is pretty much terrible. Where it's designed to bend and flex when you take it apart. go. Do the screw over this side just a little bit tighter. There we go. Tight. Now a cover. And that's now attached. Fold this over. A little extra glue there. There we go, swing it this way. So now I should be able to fold it flat, and I want to put on a screen protector. Funnily enough, this is going to be one of the largest screen protectors I've put on in a long time. We'll get a slight fingerprint on it, else I'm not going to be able to actually grab it. Start up in the corner, line it up. So I'm just holding it up at this end, trying to avoid an air bubble like that, or like that, and just as it goes along I'm just slowly lowering it down, allowing it to just self-adhere. There we go. See it working its way down? I know, mostly good. That's one screen protector installed. As I said just before, this video is not a how-to, it's more a learn from my mistakes so you don't suffer the same fate kind of approach. Anyway, I hope this may have helped you, or at least given you the idea of probably don't do anything to these, sadly, e-waste machines. Bye.